Night, terror returned to Kokrajhar district of Assam today after a brief spell of peace. Suspended NDFBS militants attacked a crowded marketplace in the district, killing 14 people and leaving more than 20 others injured. One of the attackers was killed in retaliatory action by security forces and the other are on the run. The attack is the biggest incident of violence since the December 2014 attack on Adivasis in Sonitpur, Kokrajhar and Chirang districts by NDFBS militants. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh chaired a high-level meeting to review internal security situation in the country, including in Assam. Expressing shock over the attack, MOS Home Kiran Rijiju said that the attack took place when peace was returning to borderland.
Assam's Kokrajhar region hit once again by one of the bloodiest militant attacks in recent years. Two terrorists moving in an auto rickshaw opened indiscriminate fire at Balajan Tinali near Kokrajhar town, killing over a dozen civilians in the market and injuring 18 others. An army patrol which was in the vicinity immediately reacted and cordoned off the area. Army troops killed one of the terrorists on the spot. The entire area has been cordoned off by the police and security personnel. The army has launched a massive combing operation, pressing into service specialized troops, tracker dogs and other specialized equipment. State DGP has confirmed that the attack was carried out by the National Democratic Front of Bodoland S.
एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना हुई जिसमें एक्सट्रीमिस्ट ने कुछ निहत्थे लोगों पे मार्केट में आक्रमण किया। हमारी जो सिक्योरिटी ऑपरेशन है उसमें भी एक मिलिटेंट वहीं न्यूट्रलाइज किया गया और उसके पास से कुछ AK-56 ग्रेनेड वगैरह भी पाए गए हैं और भी जो 3-4 लोग हैं उनके लिए हम उनको कोशिश कर रहे हैं पकड़ने की। ये देखने में तो NDFBS का हाथ लग रहा है।
Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal has highly condemned the dastardly attack on innocent people. The Chief Minister asked the DGP to put all the deputy commissioners and superintendents of police across the state on high alert following the incident and in view of the upcoming Independence Day.
Our government is committed to ensure the protection of life and property of the people of Assam, and that is why we have immediately directed our DG and senior police official to rush to the spot, and they have already started. And also our senior minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma also moving to the spot with a troop. Our government is committed to take stern action against those extremist outfits to ensure the protection of the civilians.
Sonowal spoke with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Rajnath Singh over the phone on the issue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condemned the incident and has expressed grief. He added that the Home Ministry is in touch with the Assam government and is monitoring the situation closely. After meeting Assam Chief Minister, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval also briefed Home Minister Rajnath Singh. Minister of State for Home Affairs Kiran Rijiju said the centre is providing all help to the state in counter-insurgency operations, besides also extending help in treatment of those injured in the attack.
ये अचानक जो आज घटना हुआ ये बहुत ही दुखद है और इतने लोगों को मारना ये बहुत गलत हुआ है। इसलिए अभी राज्य सरकार से भी संपर्क करके हम आधिकारिक रूप से पूरा डिटेल्स लेंगे, उसके बाद फिर पूरा सिचुएशन का जायजा लेते हुए क्या करना है आपको बताएंगे।
सरकार का ये निश्चय है और ये प्रतिबद्धता भी है कि असम में जिस प्रकार से काफी समय से शांति का वातावरण चला आ रहा था और जिस तरह से शांतिपूर्वक ढंग से वहां चुनाव भी संपन्न हुए हैं, उसको हम किसी भी तरह से तहस नहस नहीं होने देंगे और जो इस प्रकार के तत्व हैं जो वहां के शांति प्रिय वातावरण में खलल डालने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, उनके षड्यंत्र, उनकी योजना को सफल होने नहीं दिया जाएगा।
Assam government has announced an ex gratia of 5 lakh rupees to the next of kin of those who died and 1 lakh rupees for the injured. The northeast state has been relatively calm and no major terror attack has taken place in the state for the last 2 years. Security agencies have claimed that the National Democratic Front of Bodoland Songbajit group is behind the attack. This is one of the largest insurgent groups active in the region and continues to be the most powerful faction of the erstwhile National Democratic Bodoland Front. The group demanding a separate Bodoland is led by Songbajit, who is not a Bodo himself. A Karbi by birth, Songbajit hails from Sonitpur. After the original NDFB engaged in peace talks and signed the ceasefire treaty with the Indian government in 2005, it was split into several factions. Disgruntled over the NDFB's move towards peace talks, IK Songbijit seceded from the original party to form his separatist faction in 2012. However, he is facing dissent as well. A year back, he was removed from the post of president after the massacre of 66 Adivasis by the group. The cadres of the outfit have been on the run after an army crackdown. 4 top leaders have been killed and over 200 rebels have been nabbed so far. The top brass, however, is still elusive. The attack has come at a time when security agencies in the state are on a high vigil in the wake of Independence Day. The attack has come as a shocker for those who believed that the militancy-ravaged region had started settling for peaceful times ahead. Newsnight Desk, DD News.
The big question we are asking tonight is, will the Assam terror strike put the spotlight back on the challenge of countering extremism in the northeast? To discuss that, we are joined by Lieutenant General Rameshwar Roy, a former DG Assam Rifles, and PK Mishra, former ADG BSF and Senior Fellow with Vivekanand International Foundation. I welcome you both to Newsnight. I'll begin with you, Lieutenant General Roy. On what does this terror attack in Kokrajhar district mean for the security situation in Assam, coming as it does at such a major scale months after the last major attack took place in December 2014, in which, according to reports, at least 55 people were killed?
If you really ask me, the immediate trigger for this kind of a attack from the NDFB group could be attributed to very intense army operations which are being conducted in this area for a pretty long time in the forest surrounding the Kokrajhar district. And because of that, now they wanted this focus from the forest area must shift to the urban areas where they will be more comfortable and be able to hide. If I just quote you the figures, on 17th of July, 3 of the NDFB cadres were killed in the forest as a result of army operations, and on 24th of July, 2 have been killed. So immediate trigger could have come from this kind of a casualties that they have suffered for a long time since the last December 14 massacre.
So you are saying that this could be a retaliatory attack by NDFB?
Trigger. Yes, that could be the immediate trigger. But at the same time, there is a larger politics involved with this entire process of peace in Assam, as you mentioned. If you really ask me, there are good about 23 odd groups in Assam, which includes the Upper Assam and the Lower Assam, the NC Hills, etc., all put together. And these 23 groups, government also is in some way in one kind of a ceasefire or one kind of a peace talk with one or the other.
But with this particular faction who is suspected to be behind the attack, there is no such ceasefire.
No, there is a ceasefire with one group of this NDFB also.
Not S.
But S
not
group
NDFB
is the one which is anti-ceasefire group.
Absolutely.
And that is the reason this window they always keep. All the groups keep a small window of the group which is opposing the ceasefire. That gives them the opportunity to sort of hit back at anything and stay more relevant to the group which is in ceasefire or the group which is looking towards peace.
Okay, now there are conflicting reports, Mr. Mishra, on whether there was intelligence available ahead of this attack, because some reports suggest that there was simply no intelligence that was available. There is another report which says that there was a warning that was issued by a Bodo group, we don't know the name yet, it could be NDFBS, to the NIA. How difficult it is to secure a region like this, which has a history of ethnic conflict in the past, even if intelligence is available?
About intelligence, I'll reply, but I'll tell you it is happening. It happened in 1992, and I have seen it happening in 2008 and 2010 when my troops, they were deployed there after the incidents, and where hundreds of them, they were killed, like Delhi massacre. We are having Delhi massacres happening till 2014. Last we had 2014, and the worst part of it, after that, peace has prevailed. But here I can well tell that NDFBS, who is not there with the ceasefire, definitely they were waiting to take chance. They were supposed to take a chance because their numbers are being dwindling day by day, and because of good relation with Bangladesh. Now they cannot penetrate and have their camps very close to our border opposite in Bangladesh. So they have to thrive in our area only, or in Bhutan border. So this is the problem they are facing, because Bhutan border also operationally army is blocking, and BSF is already blocking along with Bangladesh border guards, Bangladesh border. And we are having ceasefire with Karbyalong groups, KLNL. So that area is, and Anup Chetia is already, he has been handed over by Bangladesh to us. So that way Al-Fa is lie down. Whereas this Subhajit group, NDFBS group, they are quite active, and because as General Roy was telling, we had a lot of operations by army in that area. So we have sleeper cells of IM and SIMI in that area, and I can well go back to Bardhaman blast, in which JUMB, they were involved, and JUMB, even Tamim Majumdar, who is now involved in Dhaka Cape attack, hiding in the Indian side, they are linked to ISIS. And this group JUMB, they are trying their best to have their sleeper cells and to hide it in these areas where it is
so there is a huge network of terror groups with their personnel residing in various countries. You mentioned Bangladesh is one of the countries, but is China also actively supporting insurgency in the northeast? Because very often when weapons are recovered, then they're recovered of the Chinese make. So what does this suggest?
You see, by recovery of weapons from these groups with Chinese markings, that by itself cannot really give any kind of an indication that China as a state is supporting these groups, because China is one such country where large amount of such weapons and ammunition, explosives are manufactured, and they are being transported and sent to various parts of the world by, I would say, non-informal groups, not necessarily with the state sanction, because they don't have this kind of a tight control on these issues.
The state sanction would not even be there with the elements in Bangladesh that
Bangladesh again the same, because Bangladesh has been very friendly to us, and you have seen the outcome of this has been that all these groups have now shifted their base camp in Myanmar. There are about 14 groups, including Khaplang. Khaplang is the biggest of all, who have now got their bases operating across from Myanmar. It's that which is now acting as a main hub. And Kokrajhar is...
And there was months ago a hot pursuit that we did.
Yes.
Along the border with Myanmar.
And Kokrajhar, or this particular Bodo belt, we call it BTC, Bodo Tribal
Autonomous
Region. This region is at such a place is Upper Assam area, where it's quite possible to move to Myanmar using the route of Arunachal, and using the route through the Bangladesh also. But I feel that Bangladesh route is less likely. The route is now to Assam and elsewhere is ex-Myanmar, because that is the one which is now acting as a hub for all these groups which are operating under the patronage of basically the NSCN-K, which again is not with the ceasefire or not with the peace talks.
Because that is with the NSCN-IM.
Yes, absolutely.
You want to
that is what
on
is happening.
I can well tell about these weapons, as you are telling, the Chinese weapons coming. Practically, the old Chinese weapons, they are available in Myanmar. Myanmar has the market of Chinese weapons. And till now, the Indo-Myanmar border, excluding very, very few persons, that is not being manned properly. Like Indo-Bangladesh and Indo-Pakistan border is manned. Though government has taken up the case of putting ITBP in that border, it will take some time for development of ITBP in that border. So this will take time. That is how Myanmar border is very porous. And what all arms are coming, Chinese arms, they are coming from that side, is all from Myanmar which are coming. That's Myanmar Manipur border. You have both PLA, UNLF and also PULF. You have both PULF group in Assam, so as also in Manipur. So these arms and drugs, they are coming from Myanmar to Manipur, and it lands to
that's how the smuggling of weapons has been taking place.
And mainly now NSCN-K, which is their opposite. They are now, earlier it was NSCN-IM who was supplying all the arms getting from China and PLA. But now it is NSCN-Khaplang which is doing it. We had several operations, one operation in that side, but they have taken various measures to attack on Assam rifle camps.
Because that hot pursuit was in response to the attack on our personnel.
And
yes,
weapons are coming all from Myanmar side through Manipur, POLF, back to Assam.
Okay. Lieutenant General Roy, no discussion on this can be complete unless we talk about how political parties have been fishing in troubled waters over the years. to serve their own goals.
Yes, let me bring out a larger issue. While we can look at it from two perspectives. One perspective is that it could be a retaliation, it could be to stay relevant, it could be as a result of shifting operations from forest areas to the urban areas, etc. But the bigger issue here is that with the disturbances which are now taking place in Bangladesh and the way the migratory population from Bangladesh is shifting and settling down in Assam, where literally there have been a demographic inversion, so to say. Now is a high time, it's a high time that our government must come up with the integrated security policy for all the northeastern states. Let me tell you, today as on date, there are minimum of 70 groups, 70 groups, if we combine all the groups operating in all the states of the northeast. It's absolutely unimaginable. Now each of these groups, numbers may be 10, 20, 100, 200, 500, 1,000. That's not as material as the fact that these are like germinating seeds which can then be exploited by the forces which are not favorable to us in the northeast, particularly taking the route of Myanmar or Bangladesh, to further build on this as an asset.
That could well be a
which can then
solution.
destabilize us in a big way. And these indications are fairly clear as they are coming out now in days to come. Therefore, there is a requirement to have an integrated security policy for all the northeastern states. We have Ministry of Donor, we got Northeastern Council, we got whole lot of bodies. The government's own focus is look east, act east, etc. But none of this is actually taking shape on the ground. I think we need to really pay a huge amount of attention to this if we really want to secure this part of the country.
I'm afraid that's all the time that we have for this. Maybe on a longer discussion, we'll give you more time. I'm sorry I can't, prolong it from here. But thank you, Lieutenant General Roy and Mr. Mishra, for having joined us on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you.